I
You ready?
don't appreciate her calling you out like that.
All right. Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today for the weekly mayoral news conference, just a couple of days late. We have some great news, some special guests, some good information that we need to share. And then afterwards, the mayor will take a few questions. I think it goes without saying some questions that we will not be answering. So just so you know, waste your time asking if you want, but we'll have no comment on anything else aside from the things that we're talking about on here. With that, I will turn it over to the mayor.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. We have some exciting things to present to you today. The first would be, once again, our JSU Tigers are going to the SWAC championship game. Let's give that a round of applause. This is becoming a tradition of the city. I just want those that are unable to see my notes that are prepared here to understand that Melissa Faith Payne, who is an Alcorn graduate, wrote JSU SWAC championship game with a sick face emoji next to it. So I just wanted y'all to know how she's feeling about this. Not only are we proud of our JSU Tigers, we're also proud of the SWAC Coach of the Year, which is Coach T.C. Taylor. Please give him a round of applause. The SWAC Offensive Player of the Year is Mr. Irv Mulligan. The SWAC Freshman of the Year is Travis Terrell Jr. And again, the HBCU AD of the Year for the third time in 6 years is Mr. Ashley Robinson. Let's give him a round of applause. Just some details around the game. The game is at 1 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Stadium this Saturday. Holiday festivities with the city are at 3 to 6, so you have time after the game to come on over to our holiday parade. So I hope that you come out, show support for our JSU Tigers. Let's understand that Jackson State football and all of the festivities that surround the game is a part of the culture of our city. It's one of the things that make us special, and it gives us a sense of place. Not only does it contribute to the culture of our city, it is always one of the largest economic boosts that we have each and every year. So whether you're a graduate of JSU or not, if you are a Jackson resident, you should be a fan of JSU football. With that being said, there is one game that while I will be a fan of JSU football, I might be wearing different colors next year, all right? And that is Jackson State versus Tuskegee. But I am extremely proud of not only Coach Taylor, but always my high school classmate, Ashley Robinson. With that, I will step aside so that they can share some words with you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank the mayor for all his support. As he say, we're high school classmates. I'm not going to tell the stories we had when we played basketball together. I'm going to keep that to myself. But just remember, I was the point guard, so you know what that means. But seriously, I want to thank the city of Jackson. This is very important to me. This is special to me. Being able to go get experience and come back home and be a city of Jackson, be a part of the city of Jackson where I grew up at, and be at Jackson State University is big. I always say there's no city of Jackson without Jackson State University, and I've been saying that since a little boy, and it's happy to see Jackson State back to where it used to be. You know, we've got a rich tradition. My theme is building on tradition and blazing new trails, and we definitely is building on the great tradition of Jackson State University. And I want people to know, as Coach Taylor standing here, Jackson State ain't just started doing this. We've been doing this a long time, and it's good to bring the tradition back with one of your own. Everybody, we got to get behind Coach T.C. Taylor. He's a Jackson State grad. He bleeds Jackson State University. He went to school here, won championships here. He wants to be at Jackson State University. And look at the exciting things he's done in year 2. So let's support Coach Taylor. Let's make sure that we support him. Let's show him that the respect that he deserves. He's a humble coach. You won't hear a lot from him. He just wants to coach football. He loves the city of Jackson. He loves Jackson State University. And it's our job to make sure that Coach Taylor is successful. And I want to also say on behalf of our president, President Thompson, who gives us everything we need to be successful, Jackson State is in good hands, and I'm excited about the future of Jackson State University. Again, thank you, Mayor. Thank you to the city of Jackson. Go Tigers.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? I'm so excited about this. Mr. Mayor, thank you for having us here, the city of Jackson. Big things going on this weekend. Mr. Mayor came out and spoke to the team earlier. And
That was the difference.
yeah, it was. Yeah, but and he challenged me and our team, about getting this game back here into the city, and we'll have it here this weekend. We're looking forward to hosting those Jaguars, though. You know how I feel about Southern, that school down there in Baton Rouge. This is the second time they'll come down here, and so we're looking forward to taking care of business, though. But you're talking about a huge football game, a huge deal for the city of Jackson. Everybody's excited. Our team has been practicing well. I can't say enough about AD right here next to me, AD Robinson, the things he's done in my career and putting me in this position, and I accept the responsibility of, getting us back to the top, getting us to the promised land. But it just doesn't end here. We're looking forward to taking care of the business at hand this weekend and taking Jackson over to Atlanta on next week. So it's going to be a quick turnaround going into this weekend, taking care of Southern. We look forward to playing South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl on next week. But this has been an unbelievable ride. I'm having the time of my life right now. Former grad playing at Jackson State, now leading this program. And I tell people all the time, that they ask me all the time, did you see yourself doing this? Not at all. Not at all. I'm having the time of my life. I'm not going to say nothing about a couple weeks ago what happened down there at Alcorn. And I'm still getting it at home, too. My wife's an Alcornite, too. So we're not going to talk about those 48. Was it 48? Oh, okay. But no, hey, just come out and support. Continue to support. Love the city of Jackson, and get behind this football team. These young men really been working their butts off, our coaching staff, and everybody surrounded by that program. And this is just not a one-year wonder deal. We're going to continue to build and continue to do things the right way. Thank you. All right.
Again, congratulations to both you gentlemen and to the players. Before you go, Ashley, one other thing on Melissa. She told me when she went to the game at Alcorn, she sat on the hill, which is near the cannon at Alcorn, and she said her dad asked, she said, baby, it doesn't hurt your ears that y'all sit next to the cannon? And she said, well, don't worry, Dad, it didn't go off that much, right? So y'all were sparing her ears. So no, we look forward to the game this coming week and handling business here at the Vet. I'm encouraging all Jackson residents to come out. Show your support for these Tigers, and we look forward to doing other things on behalf of the city in support of you and other champions within Jackson State program. Thank you, Coach and AD. We thank y'all. All right. Moving forward, I also want to remind you that the Christmas tree lighting ceremony is this Friday here at City Hall, and that begins at 5:30 p.m. There will be entertainment there, as well as just starting off our holiday season properly and in good form. So I invite everyone to come out, and that is this Friday here at City Hall at 5:30 p.m. We also have our annual Doing Business with the City convening. We have worked really hard to make doing business with the city a lot easier. This will take place tomorrow, which is Thursday, and we're having a special event for all prospective and current vendors who do work with the city of Jackson. Oftentimes, I'm stopped or approached by people who desire to do business with the city, and they think it's just a simple process of agreeing to allow them to do it. They may not be registered with the city. They may not know how to go through a bid process. So based on whatever services they offer, we want our residents to be informed. We want our local business community to be informed as to how to do business with the city. One of the responsibilities of the city is not only to accomplish the services that are necessary for our residents, but we're supposed to be a part of economic development within our city as well, and that is arming and our businesses with opportunity. And so this event allows us to do it. We will outline not only how easy it is to work with the city, there will be directors on hand to give a chance, have a chance to meet with possible businesses. With that, I'd like to invite Ms. Jennifer West forward to explain more about doing business with the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. He's pretty much said what I was going to say, but doing business with the city, as he said, is our annual event. We like to thank Cadence Bank and Dale Partners for being our sponsors this year for this event. It will be tomorrow, December the 5th at 6 o'clock at the Jackson Convention Complex on the second floor in the gallery. We will have a panel discussion this year. Last year, we talked about the new program that they were developing for the portal for the vendors. This year, we're going to talk about that. We'll have a panel discussion with some of our seasoned veteran vendors and our newbies to kind of give you an idea of what's going to happen with the portal system here in the city to streamline things for everyone. We'll have information about procurement. You'll be able to talk to some of the directors here about some of their projects that are coming out in 2025, and just network as much as you possibly can. So if you know of anybody that is thinking about doing business with the city, this is a great opportunity to get with those directors, get with those key people that you can talk to in just a light setting. We'll have food, we'll have an opportunity to just sit back and relax and just have those conversations that you typically wouldn't have. So we ask that you invite all of your people out, the different business associations, different contractors, whoever, so that you're able to be a part of the process of making Jackson go forward. And so all of our information is on the website. We ask you to do pre-register, but if not, you can come from 6 to 9 tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you there. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. West. Also, in the same vein as doing business with the city, we made it clear that our goals related to making sure that we have more efficiency in grass cutting, that we were going to outsource much of that service to local contractors, not only as a way of making sure that we can touch all of the points that our residents commonly are frustrated with the overgrowth within our city, but also, once again, as an effort to provide an economic boost to local businesses. And so I want to ask Ms. Lakeisha Weathers to come forward to talk about the special contracting with grass cutting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Lumumba. I just want to take this opportunity to provide additional notice that the City of Jackson has issued, advertised for their term bids for grass cutting for right-of-way and cemeteries. That information can be found on the city website under the procurement tab. The bids advertised in Mississippi Link on the 14th and the 21st, but the actual documents can be found on the website. The right-of-way bid will provide an opportunity for up to 5 contracts. The cemetery bid will provide an opportunity for 2 contracts. Any potential bidders out there that need more information can contact me, Lakeisha Weathers, at 601-960-1193, or by email at lweathers@city.jackson.ms.us. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for that update. This is an effort to make certain that we give knowledge for the many different individual entrepreneurs that do grass cutting across the city. We said that we needed to do this because there was a want for more efficiency in this process. I think she has one other thing.
I forgot to say, those bids will be due on December 10th. So if you do want to submit a bid for either of those contracts, please have it in by December the 10th by 3:30 in City Hall. Thank you.
All right. So you have the opportunity to go to doing business with the city tomorrow if you don't know how that works. And by December 10th, you can submit your bid if you're interested in doing that work. Additionally, another point that's consistent with what we do during this holiday season, and that is the compassion of residents who are in need of support in providing gifts to their children during the holiday season. Each and every year, our Jackson Fire Department steps up to the plate, and they're kicking off their annual toy drive. They need the community to make this a success as always. And so I'd like to call Chief Sanders forward to talk about the efforts of the Jackson Fire Department. Every year, they accept donations at each one of the fire stations, and they provide to our residents. So with that, please provide more details.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Cleota Sanders, Deputy Fire Chief, Jackson Fire Department. So like the mayor has stated, we have kicked off our annual toy drive, and our annual toy drive is only as successful as our sheroes and heroes who donate. So we have identified 25 families, and each year when we pick those 25 families, God has always continued to bless us to go over and beyond with meeting the needs of not just those families, but, some more families and daycare centers as well. So once again, we are soliciting your support with this annual toy drive. As the mayor stated, we have 21 fire stations within the city of Jackson, and we have streamlined the process that makes it easy for you to drop off your donation. So in your commute to work or the gym or the grocery store, you're more than welcome to drop a toy off at one of our fire stations from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We also are at Walmart 2711 Greenway Drive on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if it's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if it's a time that you need to go out there and you want to make grocery or do some shopping, you're more than welcome to make your toy donation at that time as well. So we are a community-oriented fire department, and we want to make sure that our community is feeling our compassion in the community, not with just responding to fires, but with also providing a means of help and support during times like this. So again, we solicit your support for the Jackson Fire Department's annual toy drive. Thank you.
Again, I commend our Jackson Fire Department and all of the city employees that go out of their way, and residents, in order to support the needs of families during this holiday season. I will just add this quote that someone recently told me. They said that if a child does not feel embraced by the village, then they will burn it down to fulfill that want, right? So our efforts to make sure that every child feels included in community, that every child feels loved and embraced, is not only a part of our walk as individuals for that child, but it also makes certain that we have more community cohesiveness and protection going forward. The last thing that I have for you is an update on Thalia Mara Hall. We are still on track. I want to provide specifics of what on track means. The encapsulation of the theater is 30% complete. The HVAC cleaning is 25% complete. The HVAC encapsulation started on Monday. The lobby mitigation is 80% completed. The office area mitigation is 90% completed, and the theater mitigation is 20% completed. So we are still on track with that work, and so we just wanted to provide that update. With that, any questions that you may have, we're ready to take them. Yes, ma'am.
Given updates on Thalia Mara, can we get an update on Hotel O? I know it's still standing, the board been
Yes. All I can say, because I didn't come prepared with precise information on that, is that we're still pushing forward with its demolition. I believe that we have money available to us, and there's also pledged donations that, even if we use the money that we have in-house, which is supposed to go to a number of demolition needs annually, we can replenish those funds back in our coffers once we get those donations. If I had anticipated that question, I would have had Drew Martin here, our city attorney, to give a more precise deadline of that or time frame for that. But I will say that there has been no deviation from the plan in order to demolish Hotel O.
Do you have any idea of how much donation was given?
I do not right now. I'll shy away from giving a specific number. I think that it'll bring us pretty close to what we need, based on what was said to me at that time. Yes.
So two questions that I have. One is in regards to the swag championships, which is being held on Saturday along with the Christmas parade. traffic is going to be a nightmare. What is the plan for that?
Well, I have a meeting with Chief Wade each and every week. We talked about this. He said that it will be difficult on JPD, but they are bringing in reserve officers. They're bringing in other people to supplement that work. We can't shy away from, having big events in our city just because it puts more strain on us. We have to adapt, and he feels confident that his officers will adapt to that challenge. We even looked at different dates that we could potentially do the Christmas parade once, even though we always knew Jackson State would be in the championship. Once it was confirmed, it just was a logistical nightmare, not only for those that had made commitments that they would participate in the parade, but just finding alternative dates within this Christmas season was near impossible. And so that's why we proceeded with the date, but we were also considerate of when the game starts and when we start the parade. So that's why we did that. The chief said he can handle it, and I believe him. I believe in his ability to do that.
And another question that I have is in regards to storm drains and ponds, and there are a lot of residents complaining about there being clogged up and causing some flooding, and residents are even now trying to band together to get that handled themselves.
So I've met with different community members that have gone after their own grants. We've supported efforts with contractors to make sure that money that has been pledged towards that work was not lost. We're still dedicating the funds that we receive from internet sales towards leveraging that in order to deal with drainage problems all across the city. We had a meeting with the engineering firm as recently as today, trying to get that pushed forward. What you find is, even when you've identified the funds and have a vision of how that will go forward, the bureaucracy and the process and ensuring that all your T's are crossed and I's dotted sometimes doesn't work as quickly as you want it to. But the difference is, instead of being a city that has no idea how we will address these problems, has no funding source as to how we're going to address these problems, we've identified that. I would encourage everyone that you never allow someone just to admire your problems. What do I mean by that? Simply restating what your problems are with no real tangible or programmatic solutions to how they will address them. So what I am telling you is a funding source and a programmatic solution to these problems. Now, what I cannot guarantee you is that it will happen, in the very moment that we want it to happen, and that's just ensuring that we do everything correctly. I'll tell you that with that project, along with other projects, we've become more efficient in how we're monitoring how far our dollar goes as a city, because we want to ensure that we get the best bang for our buck and our money goes as far as it can. We're concerned about flooding all across the city, whether we're talking about what happens in Fondren, whether I'm thinking about the flooding that takes place in Presidential Hills, which literally traps residents on some of their streets, whether I'm considering Hemingway Circle and the flooding that happens at Lynch Creek, whether I'm considering the flooding that happens at the bridge right outside of Cornerstone Baptist Church in Georgetown, or the flooding that happens at the entrance, or used to happen, I think we mitigated it some, the flooding that happens in front of Lakeover subdivision, and even the flooding that happens in the Queens, in which residents have been told that this was going to be addressed in every administration. I want to be clear that I'm aware of the flooding that takes place. I want to be clear that the reason I can speak about this is because I've committed it to memory, and we're finding solutions to each one of those problems. All right. Yes, sir.
What is your reaction to the city reaching 100 homicides this year?
My reaction is always one of great sadness and disappointment to know that we're having the unfortunate loss of life, and that we continue to press forward. We owe that to our residents, press forward for solutions. And those solutions come from a multitude of individuals. It is a team sport when we're talking about the safety of our residents. Having reached 100 homicides is far too many. We have to find encouragement in how we're chipping away at this problem. And that encouragement is that while we've reached that number, our numbers are declining from where they were the year previous. And last year declined from the year prior to that, right? So our numbers are going down. But for a mother or father who's lost their child, one homicide is one homicide too many. And so while we can point to a directional success, that doesn't feel good to anybody who's lost a family member or a loved one. And so I will always be compassionate towards that. And far too many of us have had that hit home. I've had many family members, unfortunately, to be killed. I've had a brother to have a lifelong injury after being shot in the head, right? So we know that the pain is real. That's why we not only arm our police officers, but we're looking at how we have our residents cope with the trauma, right? That's why we open the Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery. And my hopes is that office can be fruitful in the work that it has done. Right now, it's a good idea. We have to push it into a even better solution. And so there are a lot of things that I'm demanding out of that office and a lot of outreach that I want to see within the community. Yeah. Yes?
And what's going on with the issue of parking kiosks? They've been kind of a hot topic at city council meetings lately.
Yeah, instead of really opining on my opinion of that, I'm pushing forward with the commitments that I made at that council meeting. When we had our executive cabinet meeting this week, I talked to our director of planning and development. He's already communicated with them, and I shared with him, I reminded him of my commitment that I want to speak with them so that we can sit down and talk about some of the concerns. I can tell you the matter of the convenience of kiosks so that people don't have to walk on one end of the street, knowing that everyone is not savvy with smartphones and they need an actual physical device in order to put their money in, we do not have a full rollout of the kiosk yet. There will be more kiosks a part of this plan. And so we're looking at the location of kiosks as a matter of convenience so people don't have to walk long distances. And we're going to be looking at education, how we inform people as to how we use those, right? It is revenue that is sorely needed in the city. When we came into this city, what we saw was a city that was revenue starved, right? But has a multitude of needs. And so the fact that we don't print money, the fact that our budget is about as thin as it can be, then we have to make certain that we either generate new sources of revenue. That is why we've looked at ideas like how we take our dark fiber and become, not only a city that can provide internet access to the last or middle mile of our city, but also how we can extend it even beyond our borders and use it as a source of revenue for our city. And how do we become more efficient in the services we already provide in terms of driving in revenue? And so that's what we're trying to do. And we will continue to chip away and become more knowledgeable in that. Now, in that process, will there be times that we fail? Absolutely. And here's the reality, right? Is, in a process where you're trying to get things right, you're going to fail and have restarts. It's just a matter of making sure that you fail forward, right? And if there are some adjustments that need to be made, then we need to be flexible enough to make those adjustments. I'm not saying that this is one of those examples. I'm just saying that that's a process that you have to be open to. All right? Yes?
With the colder weather approaching, does the city have any plans to accommodate the homeless population or any recommendations?
Yeah. So our Constituent Services Department, always works towards that. We don't have a capacity in order to house throughout the entire winter time period of time. But in the colder days, we certainly find ways to augment what our shelters are doing. We often have opened up places like Champion Gym or the Police Training Academy. There are some needs to the Police Training Academy right now that we have to outfit. But we will be aware and cognizant and have an appropriate response to the needs of our unhoused community. Yes, then, okay, here.
I'm just going for clarification. The encapsulation of the theater, what does that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just reading what they told me. I don't know. I'm not a contractor. That's a part of the process. I know what encapsulation means in other regards, but I can't speak precisely to that work within this. It's a part of the mitigation process, and we can get more specifics on that. Yes.
What did you think about the Fifth Circuit's latest ruling on the airport lawsuit? It seemed like they were kind of leaning towards that the suit should be dismissed and, shouldn't give up.
My view on that is I'm going to stick with what our city attorney put out. That's my view on that. I will say that I will forever believe that the city has an interest in maintaining the resources that we've invested in, that it is always in the best interest of our state to make sure that we are empowering cities as opposed to pulling from them. That's all I'll say about that. All right? Again, I'm being voluntold to tell you that the Christmas parade is Saturday from 3, festivities start from 3 to 6, right? And the parade actually starts at 6 p.m. So once again, this is an evening parade. Years ago, we heard that residents really like the nuance of doing the parade at night, that you could actually see things like Christmas lights that were on floats. So we've returned back to that, and it works in the best interest of our desire to support Jackson State during the day, and you come out to the parade at night, right? And no rain. So we'll have good weather. So come out, let's enjoy the holiday season, bring your family out. We're grateful for our downtown Jackson community that is doing a lot in order to make certain that downtown Jackson demonstrates that it's in the holiday spirit. All right, thank y'all very much.